The cast of misfits and conspiracy theorists and weirdos that has surrounded Donald Trump since his entrance into American politics is something to behold. And maybe chief among them, there's so many it's hard to say, the My Pillow goof, Mike Lindell. A real tragic character, a real tragic figure in the pantheon of tragic characters that surround Donald Trump. I've never been one to mock or malign him for being a drug addict. That is beyond people's control. It's a disease. You're not going to find me mocking him for that, but you will find me mocking him for his conspiracy theories and his lies and his ravenous self-promotion. Because whether he believes the things he says or not, they end up being untrue, and an untrue thing is a lie. He's a liar. We're going to put this before the Supreme Court on this date, and it's going to be reversed. And we've got all this evidence about the fraud in the 2020 election. And in a moment, we're going to release this. In a week, we're going to release it. In a month, we're going to release it. And then it never gets released. There was no fraud. He's a liar. He's a conspiracy theorist. And now he is endeavoring, or at least thinking about endeavoring, to become the governor of the state of Minnesota. Now, look. The state of Minnesota, and this is not to shit on Minnesota. There's lots of states like this, but Minnesota is an odd duck relative to politics. If you look at the long line of governors and senators, it's one of those states where oftentimes in the past there have been a Democrat and a Republican at the same time representing Minnesota in the Senate. They've also had a cast of characters of governor. Jesse Ventura, the pro wrestler, the shortly lived Navy SEAL, the libertarian, Jesse Ventura, he was a governor. They've had some doozies. So Mike Lindell would be amongst similar characters in his quest for power. And I don't know if he's going to do it, but I think it's something that's important to talk about for the fact that it's not out of the realm of possibility. How many times have you heard me say to stop electing stupid people to high office? Stop electing stupid people. Just stop. And here we are again. Look, if Marjorie Taylor Greene wasn't a member of Congress, if Lauren Boebert wasn't a member of Congress, if Louis Gohmert wasn't a member of Congress, if Matt Gaetz hadn't been a member of Congress, if Paul Gosar hadn't been or isn't a member of Congress, if the out-of-work magician, Eli Crane or whatever his name is from Arizona, if all of these goofs weren't in Congress, I would say, no big deal. Mike Lindell doesn't have a shot. That's not the world we live in anymore. Donald Trump is president of the United States for a second time. We do have something to worry about. We need to mobilize, even in cases like this, where it seems like an outside chance. Initially, I'm going to play the clip here, but initially I actually had the thought that encourage him to run. Yeah, do it. I'd love to see you run because it's a guaranteed loss. That was initially what I thought. And then I thought to myself the things I just said to you. All of these people are in the halls of power. All of these people have been duly elected by a rabid, low information audience, an electorate. Donald Trump won the election this last time. It doesn't bode well. As they're dismantling education, as they're dismantling systems that teach us how to think, not what to think, they're giving power to people who are low information, who revel in their low information nature. Donald Trump screaming from the stage, "We love the poorly educated." And we have a chance here to defeat the poorly educated once again in this man's quest to be governor of the state of Minnesota. Watch this.
We got about 3 minutes. I'm going to say this time around, where I didn't do it in 2020, I'm going to tell you right now, I am considering running for governor of the state of Minnesota because right now we have a voice that could be big enough where when I do my due diligence and we're going to do polling, we're going to get a couple different polls to be taken. We're going to be you do all kinds of due diligence. I'm just checking into all this now. But they're saying, well, why would you consider it now and you didn't consider it then? Because we got our voice back, and all the lies that Walz is putting out we will see through them. It won't just be me saying it or we're saying it on Lindell TV. The whole world will be screaming it, that these lies will be uncovered. And what are they going to do? Well, Mike Lindell, he was a crack addict. Yeah. What else you got? So there you have it. Rick, I kind of surprised you with that. I am considering it, and I'm going to do due diligence over these as we roll out this. I'm going to make some bigger announcements tomorrow, and hopefully that we'll find out that the polling will do, and all this stuff will show. I think it's going to show. I live here in Minnesota. Everywhere I go, nobody wants Tim Walz. They don't. I mean, it's like even if you're a Democrat and you think he's a good Democrat governor, they don't even like him for what he did, these nonsensical things he did.
Pot calling kettle black. For Mike Lindell to assert that even Democrats don't like Tim Walz because all these crazy things he did is just beautiful. And then, listen, rewatching the clip, I vacillate. I go back and forth between should he run and should he not. Watching the clip, it's almost convincing me back to my original position that, yeah, please do run, because it would just be insanity on a loop. The problem is, if he actually gets into office, think about the absolute chaos that he could bring to the state of Minnesota, to the children and families of Minnesota. And this is the Republican Party today. This is a close ally of the President of the United States. In the first administration, I haven't seen much of this time because I haven't followed him, but he had direct access to Donald Trump in the Oval Office of the White House. And it's not that I don't like him because he was a crack addict. I don't care about that. RFK Jr. is a heroin addict, and that's not the thing we should be focused on. You focus on the dangers and the damage done to the electorate, to the American people, to our system of government, to our very democracy. And this is a chief election denier who wants to use democracy to get into power to ostensibly end democracy. Something to worry about, Minnesota. What do you think? You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And as always, you can email me the old-fashioned way, daily@dollemore.com. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for your engagement with my content. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you watch my videos with any regularity, it's free. Just subscribe. I would appreciate it very much. We are on the road to 2 million subscribers. I tell you what, we'll just try to get to 1.1 million first. We'll deal with all the other stuff. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. I am at Dollemore just about everywhere. I'd love to see you. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.